Hey, welcome to the Gig Life podcast. I'm your host, Stevie Taylor. Please excuse my voice. It's starting to go. It's a rather big weekend. My guest today is Susannah Mirana. Susannah is an Australian singer, artist, international performer and voiceover artist. And she also worked as a traffic reporter on, or live traffic reporter on TV and radio. Great to finally sit down and chat with Susannah. Let's rip into it straight away before my voice goes all together. So this is episode 136. Susannah Mirana, here we go. I think we're rolling. Hey, Susannah.
Hello, Stevie.
You're sounding a lot better than the first time I've actually heard you speak in person. You rang me up last week. Hey, Stevie, it's Susannah. Yeah, you didn't sound very well at all. So
No.
And the week before that, I had to put this off as well because I was sick.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just crazy weather at the moment. It's making everyone crook, you know. So.
I know. Yeah, I'm pretty good now, I've got to say. But yeah, I know I sounded like another person.
Yeah.
Last week.
You didn't sound well at all.
I was like, I can't do it. Yeah. So here we are. Anyway.
Here we are. Yeah. I've never been. I've been sort of Concord way before, but I haven't been this far over. And you're by the water there, and so you'd obviously get good views to firework. Well, what's sort of out on the water there? Is there a
Yep.
Can you catch the ferry from out there as well?
Yeah, it's a pretty good spot. You can catch the ferry, into the city. You can go to East Balmain, and it's a really nice way to get to town actually. If you have, normally I would catch the ferry if I'm going out. Like, if it's an early gig or not for gigs actually. I generally don't do it for gigs because it's too hard with carrying stuff and whatever. But for if I'm going out for dinner or something in the city or going to Cockle Bay or any of that.
That's awesome.
It's really nice. It's beautiful. It's a really nice way to get in there, and you can see the fireworks from out on the street way.
Right.
So if you head out to the street, you can. Yeah, not sure if you noticed it, but you might notice when you're leaving, you can see some of the city skyline.
Yeah, I saw that. I could see the Centrepoint Tower.
Oh, yes.
A bit of that on the way down. So,
yeah. It's nice. I like it's convenient, and it's kind of central to a lot of different areas here. So yeah,
that's cool. So we've just had Melbourne Cup a couple of days ago. Did you gig through that?
I did. I've just come through a super busy period, which is good.
Okay.
Which is really good.
It is.
It's always harder when you're a bit unwell, but you got to, that's part of it. I did a couple of gigs yesterday, both at Star actually. So they were good. They were good. It's always a lot of fun. I enjoy it.
Would get pretty messy though, wouldn't it? Some of the punters, they get
a
lot of wine gets chucked around, and
it was pretty civilised yesterday.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah, it was all pretty civilised. But look, I have been to Melbourne for Melbourne Cup before,
right.
And that's a spectacle.
You always see those photos the next day in the Telegraph or whatever, and that it'll either. Yeah, it'll be some bad news, or it'll be the picture of the unsightly, half unclothed.
Oh yeah,
bottles on the track type thing. Then that's all they're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it? I mean, that's media blowing that up a little bit, but is it a bit like that?
Oh, it is a little. Yeah, whenever alcohol's involved, it always can has the potential to, for party time, but as long as if you have a few champagnes and whatever, it's always a bit of fun. Yeah. It's generally a fun day out. I don't know. I guess it comes with its it comes with its negatives, I suppose. But moreover, I guess it seems like a pretty good day out.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you get to do anything Melbourne Cup last year? I can't remember if we were in lockdown
Wow.
sort of.
Now you're testing me. Melbourne Cup 2021. I did. I was at Star last year as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I did. I think I had a couple of gigs on last year as well. So yeah, it's always, I guess it's like New Year's Eve. I'd always rather be gigging than not.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
New Year's Eve, if you're a muso, most of us just would prefer to gig.
Yeah, it's good money
than
too.
Be out, with the riffraff.
Yeah, that's right. So what sort of gigs were they yesterday?
Yesterday, so the morning one was I was performing in a duo with a guitarist.
Yep.
And we just performed there's a function on, and we played as people were entering the function room, and that was the morning one till about 2:30. And then the second one again was in Star, and that was with a piano player, again a duo, right. But that was just different again.
Completely different repertoires.
Oh yeah.
What a dumb question that was.
No, it's not dumb at all. No, it's not dumb at all. There was it was different repertoires. I tend to do different reps with if I'm playing with a pianist or a guitarist, or then again with a band. Often it's different again. I like to mix it up, and it's got you'll probably have some crossover, but mostly it's different.
Yeah, so these are your gigs that you're putting together. You're getting a guitarist. Yeah, okay, so your repertoire and that kind of. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
For those ones yesterday, they were. But I also, people contact me to fill in for band stuff or whatever, and then I'll have a look at their rep, and there might be some crossover there as well with songs. We generally all know we have staples of tunes that we all go, oh yeah, there's the standards.
Yep.
So, you can always get out of trouble.
Yeah.
If you fall back on the standards as wedding songs or whatever it might be, just your general pub tunes. So that's all cool. And then you fill it out with some other kind of cool stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that you want to do or
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, let's roll it right back to the beginning, if that's cool.
Ooh la la.
Yeah. So are you Sydney born?
I am.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I'm Sydney, western suburbs, not too far from where you're living. So
where?
Oh, Toongabbie.
Oh, Toongabbie. Yeah. See, just across the
stone's throw.
Yeah, across Old Windsor Road there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Travelled on Windsor Road and Old Windsor Road many, many times, countless times.
Yep. What school?
I went to St Anthony's Primary School, and then Girraween High School.
Okay.
Yeah. So a couple of good schools. That's where it started. That's where it began. I did some. I did some school cabarets in high school, some musicals. Is
that where your singing started, or were you singing before that?
I started when I was 10.
Okay.
I started when I was 10, yeah. I think I was just singing at home, and my mum just happened to notice that I could string a tune together, and she thought, and her aunties sang as well.
What about mum and dad? Are they music?
No.
Okay.
No, they like music, but no, I'm the only professional singer in my family. Mm-hmm. She noticed that I had a singing voice and said, "Oh, would you be interested in going for some lessons?" And I said, yeah, sure. So I started when I was 10. I just went to a local singing teacher who was, she was a professional opera singer, actually. So I started out learning
And scales and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And really testing the range.
Yeah, exactly. Mezzo-soprano range I had, and I studied with her for probably about six years maybe. Yeah, she passed away. She was a little bit elderly. But, it was a great foundation for, learning how to sing. And But opera and light opera and all that stuff probably wasn't my niche.
Okay, so what were you listening to?
When I was 15, 16, oh golly.
So you're singing opera with your teacher and then going home and putting what on? What's going in the cassette deck?
In excess.
Okay.
Probably Phil Collins as well. Yep. I had a big influence from my brothers. I got two older brothers and a sister. My sister's disco mad.
Yep.
And my brothers, they loved Dire Straits and Phil Collins and In Excess and, And then, and then again, my parents had, what they loved as well, different. I mean, I probably won't share too much of that with you, but...
it's probably the same as a lot of us have had,
gosh, yeah. So, maybe that's where, I think we all have a very... diverse musical collection, and we all draw on different. We just have lots of different. That's the great thing about music,
isn't it? Yeah,
so many different styles. There's so much to choose from. It's never ending. So I don't know. Maybe that's where it started. The whole, because I feel like I rarely do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean you've got it sort of written in your bio, and I mean, it's pretty clear too that, I mean, you're like a chameleon. You're doing the rock stuff. You're doing the Great Gig in the Sky. You're singing with Pete. You're singing with Chris and Dario and doing that sort of rock stuff. And then you're doing your piano bar type music and opera, and then your cabaret stuff. It's everything, and it's really good.
Yeah, it keeps me challenged. I do love a challenge and to kind of, try different things, and it makes it, it's always different, which is great.
Do you have a favourite? Do you have a favourite little...
Yeah, look, I do.
Yep.
I do. I love, I love alternative rock, and I don't really like saying alternative, but it's just a generic way of describing that genre, I suppose. Alternative rock. I mean, I love 90s kind of alternative stuff. I love Garbage. I love PJ Harvey.
Yep.
I really like Sheryl Crow, and even back a few years before that, Blondie and the Pretenders and that kind of style. I do really like.
Yep.
And then again, if I'm doing a cabaret show, then I love doing ballads. Everyone loves singing a good ballad. I love, even if it's Barbara Streisand stuff, it's just really stuff that cuts through and you can sing really well and just belt it out there and let it go. So, but I maybe, look, if I'm just doing some band stuff, I like the alternative rock stuff.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, not necessarily. I mean, I'm not even, necessarily a huge rock singer. There are girls out there that, there are female vocalists out there that have, a really big rock voices.
Yep.
I'm not sure, that's not necessarily me, but rock comes with it, it's about an attitude as well. And, it's about the tood you bring to it and different things. So
yeah, that's cool. And, having all those different musical hats too, and man, it keeps you working.
Yeah, well, that's true.
You don't sort of get pigeonholed and have to wait for just that gig to come up.
That one thing, yeah, that's true. And that's been a big positive for coming out of COVID, I guess, for me too, because being able to do that different stuff has been invaluable this year. It's been a very busy year.
That's good.
Which, I'm pretty fortunate that it's worked out that way, because a lot of people have had to find different different ways of making an income and hasn't been easy for lots of people and not just our industry, in many industries. We've all had to navigate the whole thing. So, yeah. But, yes, it keeps me busy and it keeps me interested and challenged, and, yeah, I'll keep doing it.
Keep just doing that. Yeah. So, what's the end of the year looking like? Is the book full? Is the diary full?
Yeah.
Good
What
stuff.
are we? We're November.
Very early November. Yeah.
We're early November.
Silly season, Christmas parties and that sort of thing.
Yeah. There's some function stuff. There's some shows coming up. I'm just about to head off on a cruise, the first one since COVID. Next Wednesday. So it's the Rock the Boat.
Oh, very good.
Yeah,
excellent.
yeah.
And who are you doing that with?
That's with a show called The Songs of Women That Rock.
Okay.
And that's
I think I saw a promo for that.
Yeah.
On your Instagram.
Yeah. So that's going to be, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be so much fun. I'll be able to, the gigs will be great and get a chance to see so many other acts as well. And yeah, it's going to be good.
That's cool. How long is that cruise for?
That's a week.
Okay.
That's for a week.
That's cool.
Yeah. Yep. So we take off, next week for that, and then got some tribute shows coming up after that, and it's then like you said, it's corporate stuff for Christmas and New Year's Eve again. That'll be a nice one, and then hopefully a week off. I'm actually going to take a week off.
Yep.
In January. January's busy again, but I'm going to get a week.
The Rock the Boat thing. Is there any time to sort of chill, or is it sort of gigs every day? Or I'm not sure how those things. I've never been on one, so I don't know how it's sort of.
Yeah, well, we're doing five out of the 7 days.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're only like 2 sets or something.
Yeah, right.
2 sets. So the rest of the time, you've got to hang out and sun yourself and have a cocktail or two. Or
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good way to earn a few dollars.
Yeah. So where does the cruise sail around?
We go to Mystery Island, Vanuatu, and back. So it's just from Sydney to Vanuatu and back, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, great, awesome.
Yeah.
I had a question earlier, but I kind of let you flow there. Going back to your opera singer.
Oh yeah.
Did you learn to read?
To read music? No. Well,
sort of read pitch.
Look, I did do some theory for a few years when I was younger, and I also learnt piano for, maybe 3 or 4 years.
Okay, that's a good grounding, isn't it?
It is, but this impatient girl just couldn't find. I just couldn't. It just wasn't for me.
Okay.
Piano. I wish it was. I wish that I had continued with it because being able to play and sing is an invaluable tool. So I did do some theory early on, but no. And I can, very basic stuff, basic music I can read, but there's no way I'm a sight reader or anything, anything, too involved.
Yeah. It's funny that, like, my piano story.
Yep.
My first instrument was piano. So
oh, cool.
How old was I? 11, 12, something like that. And gave it up way too early because I found drums. So and then I spent the rest of my career playing drums. I had a bit of a hiatus from the podcast at the start of this year. Took 6 months off. One of the first things I did was get back to piano lessons. Yep.
Wow.
I found a great teacher in Sydney and went for about 2 months, bought a new piano and just didn't practice enough.
Oh.
And just, I had all all good intentions of knuckling down, and I don't have the patience for it now.
Yeah, wow. See, we've kind of got
too
similar.
old thing?
Similar. Well, yeah. The poor old piano. I mean, I have taught myself guitar.
Cool.
Which I found personally more I was able to stick with.
Because you play a bit of guitar on stage too.
Yeah, very limited.
Okay.
Only if it's something specific, like for duo stuff, I don't. I don't tend to.
Yep.
I have for original stuff.
Yep.
And that's pretty much why I picked up the guitar, because I thought, well, I want to write some songs, and I just taught myself how to play. I read a book called Plain Talk. I don't know if you've heard of that one. It's a great book, Kirk Larange. It's written by.
Oh, right, yep.
And it's a really, really cool book, really cool way, a simple way of learning guitar and chords and stuff. So I did that, and I mean, rhythm. I'd never want to play lead.
It's a whole
that's in the
thing,
too hard basket right there.
Yeah.
But rhythm is, it's great. It's great to be able to play, and it's just basic. Again, it's basic stuff. I think I've been a vocalist for so long. It is. It's a real discipline, like you said, as when you get older, to pick up an instrument and to really take off with it is I don't know, it's a hard thing.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing.
I kept making excuses to myself too why I wasn't, like too busy, kids, work. Nah, bullshit. I was at one stage, writing down how much free time I had a week, and I had twice as much free time as I needed to be really practicing piano. And, but I got to say, from those couple of months with that teacher was Tim Brewer, by the way. I don't know if you know Tim.
I'm not sure if I do know that. I do know the name.
Yeah, unbelievable piano player and great guy, and he had a really, really great teaching method.
Yep.
And for those couple of months that I did go to him, there was a stage there too where I got COVID, so I couldn't go to him, but we did like a FaceTime lesson.
Oh, cool.
So that was pretty cool. But the amount of stuff I did take away from those couple of months.
Yeah.
Oh man, I mean, if I'd tried to seek that out on the internet or something like that, it would have taken months. It took years even, But because when I went to him, he asked me what I wanted to learn.
Right.
And he kind of based the lessons around what I wanted to get out of it.
Oh, wow.
Which is perfect.
That's great.
So it definitely wasn't a waste of time. But yeah, I went into it thinking, I want to do this for the rest of my life,
Oh,
keep
man.
doing lessons. Just didn't happen, So anyway, it shit happens.
Now, do you still have the piano?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
What
My
about
kids,
your kids?
they play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it set up. I've got drums, guitars, because I play guitars and bass and stuff. I've got
cool.
instruments all through the house.
Yeah.
So they can just walk past one and grab it and just jam, So
wow.
yeah, that's good.
See, they've got a great foundation right there. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we always said we'd never push them into lessons. Once they want to learn, they'll say.
Yeah.
My older girl, I think she's going to want lessons probably next year.
Yep.
So that's good.
Yeah. Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's, well, I don't know. We had a piano too, but I just, no.
No.
I just couldn't, just too impatient, this young lass. Oh, well.
Guitars look cooler too, eh?
Yeah, they do.
You can sit on the couch and play it, and
that's right. It's it matches the the fiery fiery side, the angsty side. Yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, the first time I ever heard of you, Susannah Mirana, was on the radio.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Now, you were a traffic reporter.
Yep.
Now, when I first came to Australia, I came from a small town in New Zealand.
Yep.
So pretty simple. One of the things that once I got to Australia, it's a massive culture shock and all this stuff going on. And I just remember very early on listening to the radio, and there was people in helicopters calling in to the radio station to give traffic updates. And I thought it was just the strangest concept. But I thought it was amazing and it fascinated me. And back then, the very first one of those was Vic LaRusso.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's the icon of traffic. He's the icon,
isn't it? Yeah. And then you'd see him. And I'm just trying to think what the radio station was. Might have been Mix. Yeah. Mix FM, early Mix FM.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you'd see him in the morning if you turn the TV on.
Yep.
And then, later on it was you.
Yeah.
Rock up to work and Susannah Mirana's on the how's the traffic,
Yep.
So I've got some questions around that stuff.
Yeah.
It fascinates me. And, what's a day in the life of a traffic reporter? How does it start? What research do you have to do? Are you having to source all that information yourself? Have you got producers sending you? Is it all done in the chopper?
Yep.
Or is it all pre-prepared? So, it's fascinating.
The day, okay. I'll give you sometimes, if you're a full-time reporter, which I started out as casual, then I went to part-time and then full-time and, then I went back to part-time. I was there for a period of 6 or 7 years on and off because I always, I actually stopped gigging for a short time whilst I was doing that because when I was working a split shift and I was full-time, it was just impossible.
Yeah.
It was impossible to do both. But when I first did my training, I was in a radio station at Campbelltown, C91.3. So I went from doing gigs to having to get up at like 3:15, which is normally when I'd be going to bed. And it was such an adjustment. It was a really big adjustment. But again, it was a challenge. I thought I was something that, I guess it's all part of communication. Singing's communication, radio's communication, all that stuff. So, and I always had an interest in voiceovers as well. You get up early. You're at Bankstown. If you're doing a chopper shift, a helicopter shift. You'll do a few reports on the ground from 5 to say 5:30 maybe. Then you head up in the helicopter and you'll do your reports for either 7 or 9. You go up there. For instance, if I'm doing Channel 9, the person in the back doing the filming might be doing 7 or vice versa. How do we get our information? Well, if you're doing a helicopter shift, you're up in the air, so you're
doing it yourself.
You compile your own reports, and there are a few different sources, a few different ways of getting information. But you have to compile your own report for sure.
Any hairy moments up there in the helicopter?
No, hairy moments. Look, it gets. If it's terrible weather, you'd never go up. There's all safety precautions and whatever. Sometimes it can get pretty windy, but if it's too windy, then you don't go up. But generally, not really. No, it's pretty safe.
I just had this thought of hanging out the chopper, trying to get a shot of that, that crash while the chopper's spinning. I don't know. It was just
like what Arnold Schwarzenegger style or Stallone or something. Oh wow, no, no movie heroics involved. No, there's no way. No, it's all very safe.
Yeah,
all very safe.
So how did you get into that in the first place?
I made up a demo, just a traffic demo, and sent it in. And
so the job was advertised and
no.
Oh, okay. Right.
No. I just, you know how you can
just hustle, right?
Yeah, if you want to work somewhere and you think, well, I'm just going to go straight to the source. So that's what I did. I've often done that. Not so much with music, but certainly with other day jobs and stuff, I've always thought, well, yeah, I wouldn't mind working there. So, you know.
Here I am.
Yeah, I know. Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much. I mean,
That's
it kind of, I think people appreciate that. I don't know what it's like.
Definitely. I'm a bit like that too. Just go after it.
Yeah.
You know, no regrets.
No harm.
That's it.
If they say no, and you move on.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I just made up a demo, sent it in and followed it up, and then they gave me a go. It was a good learning. Initially, it was kind of, like, oh gosh, I thought, oh, far out. This is hard. It's not, I mean, not really hard. It's just, you've got to learn. You have to learn what you're doing, and there is a little bit to it, but mostly it's just, it's all, I guess it's a bit like performing. It's like performing. You just, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
So why did that end? Did you have other stuff going on, or?
I missed gigs,
Okay.
That's
when you start to not get called again, and
I kind of did drop out of the scene.
Other people turn up, and that's it. Eh? Yeah.
I just wanted a gig again.
Yeah, good on you.
It's pretty much that simple. And I guess I felt I don't know. I'd done my I'd done enough.
Yep.
Done enough there, and I still do get voiceover work from, I guess as a result of doing maybe not
still.
Yeah, I just do some stuff for a few clients from home. So
awesome.
Yeah. It's but it was great. It was a great chapter, great thing to do, and
for sure.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And up in the chopper. And Sydney's, I mean, you wouldn't find a better city to go around in a helicopter than to be able to go. We covered the city to surf sometimes. We did you're flying over the Harbour Bridge and the Opera House and eastern suburbs and the northern suburbs. It's pretty
amazing.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah. Now, voiceover work.
Yep.
Did you ever have, because I'm clearly not a voiceover artist, but it fascinates me as well, that stuff.
Yeah.
The way you have to use your voice, the different tones, and also reacting from instructions from a producer. And I saw a video that Nikki Curter put up a couple of years ago, and she was in a studio, and she was doing a read for something, but as she's doing it, as soon as she'd finish a line, the producer would go, I can't remember exactly what he was saying, but he was just giving her instruction, and she would instantly change the tone of her voice.
She had to do. Yeah.
I just thought
she's expert. Nikki's Nikki's great. There's a few there are a few. I mean, I guess you have to change. And that's high. That's pressure. That's a lot of pressure to have someone there, have the client there as well. Going, oh no, we want it like this, and you got to
just do it.
You got to deliver.
Yeah.
No, we want it more subdued, or we want it. Maybe they probably wouldn't use that word, but more excited.
Yeah, and some of that instruction would just be like just a couple of the words. Just ramp that word up or bring that word down. Or it's amazing.
It's all. Look, I guess that's why actors get a lot of work, a lot of voiceover work. They're trained in that, whereas I haven't had, I didn't have any training as such at all for radio or anything, or it's just stuff I've picked up along the way. And sometimes when you're a singer or you're in the arts, you just have a natural. You have a natural ear for some of that stuff. I guess also for languages, I love languages, and I know lots of singers just have an affinity with being able to pick up languages and that kind of stuff. So I don't know, it's probably just that part of your brain. Maybe you're just listening for different things. You would naturally listen for different triggers in whether maybe you pay attention to ads on the radio more so than someone else would, or you hear something in it that someone else may not, or but yeah, you have to be able to do that and switch. And if you can't, well, you probably won't be asked back.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, to do it. But the stuff I do here at home is not that high pressured.
Gotcha.
You know, I'm
And
my
you're on your
own
own time type thing. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's talk a little bit about your music projects.
Yeah.
Now, am I saying this right? Is it Moulin Rock?
Oh, yes.
Did I get it?
Moulin
Yes,
Rock.
right.
Moulin
So it's
Rock,
spelt ROQUE.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, Moulin Rock. That is my little baby, my little baby project. It started out, I started out doing cabaret when I was, let's say, about 15 or something. This is going to be, I'll keep this short. And I started doing
go as long
cabaret.
As you like. You're good. It's up to you.
I started doing it through, I got into it through talent quests, doing the talent quest circuit, which you do in clubs. So, you know, there used to be really big, huge prize money on offer, like for Marrickville RSL and Petersham RSL, and all the clubs, and it's changed a little bit now, but all the clubs used to have these talent quests. And through doing those talent quests, I got into performing cabaret. So that would mean that often there was a house band at these clubs, and you would have, you know, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 piece charts that you would, and you'd put together a 30-minute set or a 45-minute set. And, so I got into cabaret from doing that. But the stuff that I was doing at that time was very old school stuff. You know, we're talking Connie Francis, I don't know, you know, Connie Francis stuff, and Vera Lynn stuff.
Gotcha.
And I was pretty young, like 15, 16, 17 to be doing that stuff. And it didn't really resonate with me. So I kind of got out of that. Again, it was really good to do, but I got out of that scene and I thought, oh man, I just want to play some rock. So I got out of that scene. Anyway, I re-entered it, you know, just a few years ago. In fact, immediately before COVID, I got back into doing that because I wanted to do some ships, some cruise work. And off the back of that, I thought what I'd really like to do is put together a show that's kind of cabaret, but also draws on my musical influences and stuff. Just do more of an alternative.
Yep.
There's that word again.
Yep.
Rather than mainstream. What my idea perhaps of mainstream cabaret would be. So I put together a show of stuff that I wanted to do, really. So it's very self-indulgent.
Yeah.
And it's basically just different arrangements of songs that I really like. And I put together the songs and I thought, yep, okay, I'll do those. And there's stuff like from Queens of the Stone Age in there, anything from, there's some Nick Cave stuff in there. There's, there's a whole heap of different things. PJ Harvey's in there, K.D. Lang. There's a lot of different, there's quite an eclectic arrangement of stuff in there. And it was my husband that said, why don't you put, if it's cabaret, why don't you put a story? Why don't you put a story to it? So we both came up with a way of linking all of these songs and forming a story around it. And that's Moulin Rock. And I love it.
Yeah.
I love it because it's about as original as I can get without, you know, having written the songs myself.
Gotcha.
And it's it's great. It's so rewarding to do, and it's a different lineup. I have it's a 4-piece band. with a violinist and accordion player, a keyboard player who also plays left-handed bass, drums and percussion, and a guitarist.
And that's Jess.
It is
Yep,
Jess.
I've had Jess on the podcast.
Yes.
Very early on, yep.
Yeah. Oh, Jess is the best. I love the entire band. They're all incredible, and they're great to work with, and they all bring. It's such a special lineup, and they all bring the perfect amount of musicality to that show. I just. There will be some more shows booked next year. It's not something, because it is different. It's not something that plays every week, and maybe I'd get sick of it if it did. You know.
Yeah.
I hope that's not jinxing myself, but it's a boutique show.
Gotcha.
You know, it hasn't really played coming out of COVID because. You know, a lot of the big shows tend to have been able to bounce back, I think, you know, big tribute shows. But for mine, that's a little different. It's kind of needs its own special little marketing.
Yeah, gotcha.
Next year it'll be back out there. And the great thing is I can put in whatever songs I want and it'll still fit in with the theme.
Yeah, without changing the theme, without changing the story, or would you?
I could probably tweak it, I guess. Yeah, it's all open. Yeah. I could tweak it. It's about at the moment it's a story about love, lust, and loss. Is what we've, it's a love story
in that order. So with a sad ending.
No, it's a triumphant ending.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
Yeah. I know. And, I've had people come, to the first shows thinking that it was Moulin Rouge. So they dressed accordingly.
Well, you know what? If it just the way it's spelt, it's because it's the Q's back.
Yeah.
If you flip the Q, it's Moulin Rouge.
Exactly.
Right? And
yeah.
It's clever.
It's a take on. It's a So yeah, it's Look, it does. It makes me smile. That show,
Yeah,
I love it.
stuff.
It's something I'm pretty proud of. So yeah,
Good stuff.
yeah.
Now, before that, you, as a solo artist, Linky.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about that.
Linky. Linky is my original project.
Yep.
It's dare I say alternative rock?
Yeah, it is. I watched the videos.
Yeah.
So it certainly is.
It's a bit. It's different. It's quirky.
It's cool, man. Really cool.
It's It's been. It hasn't been shelved. It's just on a hiatus. You know what it's like with writing.
Get back to it.
You got to. I had a really prolific period there where I wrote a lot of songs. They're not. A lot of them aren't finished. But the first single of that, my first single that I released was Demon Eyes. Look, we did a few shows. I had a great band there as well. Had some great guys on board with it, but it just sometimes.
What's your dog up to? Doing the wash. Sounds like he's in the washing machine.
I know, little whiskey.
Yeah.
He's when I'm not paying him attention, he's up to no good. Linky, we did our first gig at I think it was called the Bald-Faced Stag.
I know the Bald-Faced Stag.
That was the very first one, and then the single release was, I think, the following week at the Oxford Art Factory.
Yep.
And we did we've done a few gigs since then as well, but it needs an injection of time. I think more so than anything else, and you just got to you have to make the time. This year I've taken. This year I've taken on a lot of work because that's just been
it's just the way it is at the moment.
It's bounced back, but next year I suppose I'll tweak my my routine a little bit, I suppose, and just make a little more time for my own projects and you know. But that's, you know, but it's been a great year. It's been a really, really good year. It's been it's been a lot of different things, and
that's good.
Yeah,
really good.
Yeah.
Have there been any gigs that you've been offered that you regret not taking?
Not taking. Ooh la la. Oh man, not really. Oh geez. Not really. I don't know. You tend to try to take what you can, and if you, I'm gonna not really.
Not really.
That's a bit boring, isn't it?
It was, yeah.
What an anticlimax.
It's a common.
I'd love to
pretty
say,
common answer.
I'd love to say, you know, oh gee, you know, Elton John offered me a spot.
Yeah, but I was playing at the Star.
Yeah, exactly.
No way. I was playing my duo up there.
No. How boring am I?
No.
What about you? Is there anyone that you'd I'm going to turn that on its head? Anyone you really want to work with that you haven't yet, or you?
Oh, there's lots and lots of people. I never became a professional musician.
Yep.
I mean, that's purely by my choice, and well, actually not. I had definitely had the choice later on, but my mum and dad always said to me and my brothers, "You can do whatever you like, but you got to do a trade first."
Yep.
And then you've got something to fall back on. And the trade that I started, I'm still doing. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
yep.
and I just I never took the professional musician route, you know.
Yeah.
But there's so many musicians I want to play with. I want to talk to still. And, you know, that's an ongoing thing with this podcast. Is always I just love talking to people.
Yeah.
There's so many people out there. You know?
It's a pretty cool way of getting out there and meeting people.
Yeah, for sure.
And hearing their
because we've all got our stories, you know.
Yeah.
And so was that a good answer to your question?
Yeah, it was the perfect answer.
Yeah.
It was the right one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a guest on a couple of live stream shows during COVID.
Yep.
Was not comfortable at all.
Yeah, right.
And Pete and Tanty got me on to do the quiz one night too.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh.
Oh,
freaked out
wow.
the whole time.
Oh, yeah, okay,
Yeah, no, I struggle with the live thing.
Oh, man. That's a pretty cool thing. Pete's
Pete's
got Twitch and
yep.
Yeah, it's awesome. What was I saying? Oh yeah, there are two really really big standouts for me that happened because of COVID. One of them was Pete's ISO duos, and that's actually the first time Pete and I had done anything together.
Oh really?
Yeah,
right.
And I just thought that was the best thing ever because up until Pete had asked me to do the ISO duo, I really hadn't done anything during COVID, and I because I just didn't really know what to do. I'd come out of a super busy period. I'd just gotten off doing a cruise ship, my second cruise ship ever, and that ship came in the same day as the Ruby Princess. Oh. And so I got off that and I was in isolation for 2 weeks. And it was just, I don't know, you know what it was like? It was just really weird.
It was weird.
So strange. And for everything to just stop, for gigs and everything to just stop, I didn't really know what, I just didn't really know what to do. And I've spoken to other people and they just kind of think, oh, wow, I did this, I wrote a book. I got to say, I froze. I had no idea what to do. So I wasn't really doing anything. And then Pete got in contact and said, hey, do you want to do this? And I said, yeah, man, something, anything. So that was one of the absolute highlights. It was so cool and it got me it just kind of got me out of my funk a little bit.
Yeah, cool.
And the other thing was a live stream that I did for DFP Live. I'm not sure, Douglas Fabian Productions. They set up a live stream. They've got a studio in Rideway, and they just converted this studio into a live streaming studio with so much equipment. And they invited me along with some other artists to, and I performed some of my songs from Moulin Rock.
Oh, cool.
And, that was fantastic. That was such a great thing to work on. That was, over a couple of weeks we were putting everything together, and they put an incredible set together, and it was just such a great experience. And two of those things would never have come about if it weren't for COVID. I mean, yeah, COVID sucks.
Yeah.
But there are three. My goodness, I've forgotten. There are three things. The other one was a friend of mine who contacted me and said, "Hey, do you want to? What are you doing? What are you doing?" And I said, "Nothing. I'm really not doing anything." So he offered him and his friend are professional videographers, if that's the word. They and they offered to just film a gig. Well, that's how it started out. But we went to Paul Najar's studio in Narrabeen, and we basically recorded about 5 songs again from Moulin Rock. We recorded them live. We were there for about a day, and it was, that's all on YouTube as well.
I was watching those.
So cool, just stuff like that. So it just would never come about, but people had the time to do it. Everyone was like, yeah, let's do this. Now we're back in gig land where we're all just frantically working and trying to keep up. So it's really hard to get people to have spare time. Musos don't really have that much spare time at the moment. But, but all of that came about because we were all just going, okay, what are we going to do? It was a pretty, it's a unique time.
Yeah, it was. It was very productive for the podcast for me because I could do it all from home.
Yeah.
Right? But the double-edged sword of that was I got too comfortable and you're almost dialing it in and too relaxed and a couple of beers and a couple of wines while you... I mean, there was a couple of those podcasts I did were the most fun because it was almost like having a party with these people I was talking to. But, there's nothing better than sitting at a table like you and I are doing now in front of each other, and that's what's been great about, COVID being over, because when I started this podcast, it was all face-to-face.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and then that whole on-the-screen thing I never really got. And then I got too used to it.
Right.
And so it's good to be snapping out of that now. And
it's a useful tool, isn't it? It's useful. Yeah. It's useful, but it can't replace... it can't replace the energy of having someone sat in front of you and that kind of communication. God forbid we never wanted to be in the same room as another human. Hopefully it never gets to that.
Yeah. But I was talking about this on another podcast a little while ago, but it was it would be what I'd find with some people that I was talking to, they would, I mean, of course there's the literal disconnect of being, them sitting somewhere else through a Zoom thing.
Yep.
But some people they'd just be staring at their avatar of themselves and not connecting with me. Do you know what I mean? So I'd be trying to look at their face, but they might have the picture of them down there and they're talking, and it was bizarre, man.
Yeah.
It really, really was. And of course there's that whole, you'd be sort of riffing in a conversation, but then there'd be a delay.
Oh yeah,
and then
of
then it would be more. I'd more kind of pick that up when I was going back and doing the edit.
Right.
And maybe at the time, after a few beers, it sounded great. You listen back and go, that sounds absolutely terrible. So I'd be cutting 5-minute sections out of
Yeah.
because people were listening back to it. They wouldn't get it.
Right. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Wow.
It just sounded like this bouncy mess of people talking over each other, and out of time, and like the whole editing part was really, really, really difficult, but it kind of lost the enjoyment of it,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. No, this is much better.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, Susannah, it's been awesome to finally, after a couple of illnesses ourselves, to be sitting here doing this. Really appreciate you and all your time and having a chat, and
hopefully
smooth
onwards
sailing
and upwards,
Yeah.
Yeah, it will be.
Cool. All right, Susannah.
All right.
Take it easy.
Thanks, Stevie.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye.